3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Idle Talk. Today we're talking The Last of Us.
Yes.
Episodes 1, 2, and 3.
We didn't talk about 1?
No, not at all.
Damn.
We've been saving The Last of Us talk.
Okay.
If you remember 2 years ago, we had a Last of Us episode every week.
Yeah,
every single week.
Every episode, yeah.
That was when that shit was hot.
releasing.
That
Yeah,
shit was
releasing
popping.
weekly.
That shit was
That's
amazing.
when, during COVID, when they had nothing to do but watch TV.
But watch TV,
Yeah.
but link up. It was like a little bit after COVID too.
Yeah,
no?
yeah. So,
Kick us off, Fabrian. Episode 1. What do you remember? What do you like?
Episode 1, what do I remember?
What do you dislike? How are you feeling so far?
I
3
like the
episodes
show
deep.
a lot.
Elephant
I don't know
in
if
the
I
room.
want to talk about my dislikes, because my dislikes were more on episode 2 and 3.
I just talk about all of it. Like,
But episode
how
1
you
was pretty
feeling
good.
3 episodes deep so far?
I
What do you
feel
like? What do you dislike?
um,
What do you hate? What do you
Pacing is a
love?
little off for me, I think.
It's different, right?
Yeah, I think we're not spending enough time. We're doing a lot of time skips.
First, it was what? How many months? It was like a few years, 5 years or some shit like that.
Right after episode 2, and then we got another time skip.
And then we get 3-month time skip.
Yeah. I think that's a complaint I have. But besides that, and maybe casting, or if not casting, dedication to a character, maybe is also
Then now
a
here-
situation I don't like.
Not putting in the love, the effort.
Yeah. I don't
the
like
attention
how
to detail.
one particular character is being currently written, but again, I had issues with certain characters for episode 1 and 2, and then as 3 and 4 or whatever the fuck we're on
We're on
now
3
come
right
out, it's gotten better. Because originally when I saw episode 1, I was like, I don't know how I feel about Bella still being Ellie after the time skip.
You think she deserved to be recasted for an older and adult version of
Yes,
of Ellie?
originally, yeah. When I first saw her in episode 1, I was like,
I agreed with
no.
you back then. I seen her on the screen and I was like,
I don't know.
this is still season 1, even though it's been like a few
Yeah.
years.
So, but now that I've seen most of the episodes, I think her acting chops make
Oh,
up
yeah.
for it 100%. Like, as much as I didn't like her casting wise, acting wise, Bella Ramsey shoots it out of the park every
Yeah,
time.
let's
I
give
don't
her.
think there's been
Let's
a
give her roses.
I'll give her flowers every time she's on screen. I
She's
believe
killing it.
everything she's doing. Yeah.
Everything she's doing.
Besides the fighting part, which is like, I think that's the issue.
The thing, she still looks like a kid fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the issue for me, is that she's really small. Not even like strength wise, like she's short. Which Ellie is short in the game, but I think
But she gets a little spurt.
she
gets
does.
a little
Yeah,
girl
she
spurt.
gets a little bit
Like a
taller,
few more inches
Yeah.
taller,
and
and
she
then-
looks more mature, right? I feel like, I don't know, because Bella plays her really well, but also there are times where I'm like, she's doing too much. Like the cursing thing, it is known that Ellie is known to
Sailor.
curse. Yeah, she
fucking
has a sailor
bad
mouth. She does
mouth.
curse, but there are times where I'm like, I don't feel like she would have cursed there.
That fuck was unnecessary.
Yeah, there are times where I'm like, they're adding way too many fucks or motherfucker or fuck you and like things like that. Where I'm like, yeah, Ellie does say that, but a lot of times she only speaks like that to people who she's arguing with or like fighting with. So people like, whenever she has scenes with Jackson, she doesn't really curse at people unless it's very angry. Like she curses at Seth, she curses at Joel when she's angry at her, but not to like regular people on the daily like she'd be doing in
She's
the
like,
show.
fuck you.
Yeah, it seems really immature for
Get the
someone who's
fuck off my
supposed to be like
ass.
almost 20 years
Yeah.
old now. But those, if like, that's me being nitpicky, you know, like me being really nitpicky. I don't like the things that they change when it comes to Tommy. Tommy is, at least in the game, is one of my favorite characters.
In both games.
Yes,
Right?
in both games.
Because
Yeah.
even in the first game, there's still like an animosity between him and Joel.
Yeah.
Something happened that we didn't really learn until like afterwards.
Yeah,
But like it was portrayed as in like, yo, you're my brother. I fucking hate you right now. Like whatever we've been through is like, like we're not over it, both of them. And even for Joel too, on his part, like he knows he's beefing with his brother.
Yeah.
Is he gonna go out and try to fix it? No, he wasn't.
But he went and looked
But
for
he
him, though.
did
Yeah.
eventually, right? And that's how brothers are. You know, they'll
Exactly, yeah.
argue for however many times. I think that's an exaggerated amount of time to be fighting, I guess. But
Yeah.
They eventually just got together again and talked it out, did whatever they needed to do, and then kind of got back into a good place. But in not season 2, in the second game, now it's been a few years. We know what happens at the beginning of the game. He's there for that moment that they take Joel away from them, and in the show he's not there.
Correct.
Instead, he's fighting for his found family.
Correct.
He's defending his community
because he has a kid.
That's true, but
in the game he doesn't have a kid.
But he's in the show. If he was just fighting for Maria and his son, he would be with Maria, like to like back to back, shoulder to shoulder, like fighting, right? But he's
fighting for the community.
Not only is he fighting for this community, he's leading this fight. He's on the wall. He's a general. He's directing this. Set the fire. Drop the barrel. Shoot this.
Rifles.
Retreat back. We're losing the wall. Retreat back. And then he has his special forces, which is the people with the flame turrets, and then he loses 2 to 3 of those guys off the rip due to just human nature. But even with losing them, he could easily in that moment take a second and be like, "What are you doing? Get back here!" But no, he
understands.
Hunkers down.
He's like,
"Fuck it, they're human beings." I don't blame him. I wish they were here probably, but then he just locks in and has to kill a bloater by himself single handedly, and then he does it very strategic where he realizes the fire that he was using. It's windy, it's snowing, it's in the middle of a blizzard. So he gets in between buildings where there's less draft, and then he tries to kill the bloater single-handedly, which he does successfully. And meanwhile, he's fighting for his life. Joel is out there, in a way, fighting for his own life. But he doesn't fight for it though. He's just like, he doesn't want Dina to get hurt. They copy that kind of like in the. They threaten either Ellie or Dina in the game, right?
They threaten Tommy, but they knock him out immediately. So they do threaten to shoot him.
Yeah. While he's unconscious, right? But even then, I see why they made that change because, all right, you're just gonna shoot. You're gonna do him how you gonna do me. I'm a grown man, and you just you're gonna just shoot me, and it's whatever.
I'm gonna kill my
But if it's Dina,
it's like an innocent little girl. Like, why would you do that to her? Yeah,
she would just ask me how to fix electronics. We just bonded. You guys just saw that. And it was
I do
a cute
like
moment.
that change, by the way. In the game, Dina and Joel barely have scenes together before he passes.
Yeah,
there's 1 or 2, and there are some voice lines and stuff to give you the fact that there was a relationship there, but we don't see it in the game. The only person that we really see her connect with Dina in the game, at least, is Ellie, because that's who we are.
We're Ellie at the end of the game.
So I do like that change. That's a change that I'm absolutely for. I like that they're adding Dina into more of a family dynamic, where at least in the game it seems like she's just going as a +1 because Ellie's her girl at the time, right? But now it seems like it's way more personal. I was kidnapped, and you guys took somebody that I cared about. Yeah, I cared about, and I loved.
You
also,
drugged
she
me.
tells Ellie in this episode, I loved him too. He also meant a lot to me. It's not
that was
just
my papa too.
Community
dad. That's what you
so
said. Community father.
For me, that's a good change. I like that change,
and that makes sense.
Yeah,
right. Because in the game, when Tommy gets knocked out so easily, I'm like, "You a grown ass man. You walked in there."
Though.
Yeah, but
they are almost 70, both of them.
But they're grizzled veterans.
Yeah, that is true. Yes,
they should be. They should know better.
Yeah, they
should right. You would know with age. You're not as adept and strong.
They should have caught on them looking around the room trying to search. They should have caught on,
but I don't know who catches on. I think Dina might. No, Joel might.
Dina just gets got. The moment that
Joel
she says,
catching on.
He's on the radio trying to call for his brother while he's watching Jackson burn. And he's like, and then when he turns around, he's like, "Guys, we have 3 minutes. Let's pack up." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, real quick, I'm Abby. This is Owen." Blah blah. And then when she says Joel, they all flip. And then immediately the girl puts a gun to Dina's head. And then that's when Abby starts her monologue. Hey, listen, we're not here to kill her. We'll put her to sleep. She won't get hurt, but only if you answer my questions and are honest with me.
The questions were just
Who are you? Where were you? When's the last time you seen Flower?
No, but she knows the answers to all of those questions.
But she wanted to see if he would be honest. Yeah,
of a show.
For sure.
And I don't know what would happen if Joe would have lied.
She probably would have just killed him immediately. But
she wouldn't have though. I think she just wanted the satisfaction of
probably
doing it slowly, how she always envisioned.
Yep.
I don't mind the actress for Abby.
I think she does so good when it comes to the acting, the
talking,
dramatic, all of that. I believe it. it's just the physicality. I don't, and it's the same problem I have with Ellie. And I guess now that they're both
The same
small,
size. Yeah.
the story makes sense, and I won't have a problem with it later down the line when they fight each other. But when it comes to the game, the amount of enemies that Abby goes up against that
On the daily.
she genuinely needs to be physically imposing to go up against. I don't know what they're gonna do with that side of the story, if they're gonna write it out or not even, or just give her another rate. Like, cause during Joel's death scene, right? They make his face look like it does in the game, but it's a different method. At least in the game, Abby is beating him with the club the whole time. It doesn't break.
And it's even worse because like she's
smacking him
strong,
in the face with
and
the club.
she's putting like hundreds of G-force into it,
sure,
like
right?
destroying his skull. Because that's how I think
any human.
It's not that easy to destroy his skull.
Even if they didn't give her the strength, right? If they would have shown her smacking him in the face with the club, I'm like, all right, fair.
That's what happened.
But they don't, and that's what gets me upset about that episode, is that they specifically show her break the club, and if they wanted to use the club the way that they did at the end, beautiful, do it. To make the kill very final, that there is no, because a lot of people in TV will be like, well, I didn't see your body. He only got beat. There's a possibility.
His face could fix his face in the post-apocalyptic
world.
world.
If they wanted to make it final, like, no, I need to stab him in the neck to make sure he's dead, sure, break it off. But they shouldn't have broke it off in between her beating him, and then she starts beating him with her hands. With someone, like, if she was as physically imposing as a video game Abby, I'd be like, all right, fair, keep it.
Because I've seen you putting some hands on people.
But for how skinny the character looks, I'm sorry to the actress. Like, it's not her fault, genuinely. Like, it doesn't seem real that he could, even, like, as someone who punches other people in the face sometimes, it takes a lot to make someone's face like that, to the point where your hands will start hurting. And someone who isn't big enough to make that type of damage, it would take more hits, which
more pain for yourself.
It just doesn't make sense that Abby could do that type of damage with the body that she has, with just her hands, if I'm being real. And I think that took it away from me when it came to that scene.
I'm not understanding, because we just talked about how the first season was like during the COVID time. And so you're telling me we're in 2025, and we may have waited 2 or 3 years for this season to come out. You're telling me in the year of filming, or whatever amount long time it took you to film,
you couldn't have gotten a few
worked out in?
Yeah, I listen. I agree with you.
That's what the shit has been pissing me. The more and more I talk about it, the more and more I get pissed off. And where it's like, just hit some shoulders and biceps, or shoulders and forearms.
I agree.
Just a few.
I agree.
Just a few of these, because like Jesse did not look like that in episode 1. Like, I don't know what happened.
He definitely did. I think he just was wearing a jacket and we didn't.
Bro,
he had to have. There's no way they let him work out in between those sets. No,
I don't know what happened.
I just think he was just wearing jackets and we didn't notice. And then during that Foreman scene, he like jacked his shit, and I was like, whoa.
Tommy was fucking up the fucking insertion, and he had to take over. He did it instantly. But she could have just gotten something.
I think if the moment that they casted her, they should have they should have shot like the graveyard scene, the scene with her dad, all the stuff where she still looks like that, and then after that time skip, put her on a training regimen. Even if it isn't like, yo, I need you to, because Abby in the game, dog, she's like, she puts 80 pounds of just like muscle that she puts on. Like, you see her from where you like begin with her, short braid, skinny. And then when you play as her, you see how big she is, and you're like, "What?" But
it's like
fuck?
It's a few years later, though.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
So she locked in for
and then as you play as her, you like go through her room and you understand that like, oh, for these 5 years she was doing nothing but lifting weights, training how to fight, learning how to shoot. Yeah, and she did nothing but
learning how to track.
Exactly,
all that shit. She did the literal military academy that the Frontier had.
So I don't know, like, and the thing is, like, it's just me judging currently because I don't know what they're gonna do with their character because I haven't seen the rest of it, so I don't know. But that's my one gripe with that character. But besides that, I think she's doing a fantastic job.
She's not even tall.
No,
Abby
but I mean,
was tall
Abby,
as fuck.
She was as tall as Joe, at least.
Yeah,
yeah,
she was.
Or in that grade, at least when I played as her,
she was tall as Owen, because Owen was pretty tall.
Yeah, no, Owen is just short in the game. Yeah, he's a little guy. Also, yeah, they removed a lot of her friends. They did. You said there were too many. There wasn't enough, in my opinion.
I think there was too many of them.
So, because
a lot of them just stood there like, oh no, please don't kill Tina, please. Like, she does.
Yeah,
we're only here for Joel.
They made them. They
did
did make them way more sympathetic in the show because of how many. Like, trust me, when the game first came out, no one liked what happened, and everyone shat on Nightman for what he did, which I didn't agree. I felt like, hey, if that's the story we're gonna go for, whatever. But like they removed a lot of the stuff that makes what makes you hate that group as much as you do in the game. They removed a lot of it.
It's because it's literally the same. It's like us, but on the other end.
Yeah.
We're the bad guys. To them. And we got
you wouldn't treat a bad guy good. I'm being honest with you. If it was me, dad. Yeah, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be nice.
If that was my mom,
I wouldn't be nice. So
you could do that to my dad.
In the game, there's more people because in the game, Tommy goes out first and he kills a few of them. Yeah, he interviews like one of them the way that Joel does, like he said. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what they're gonna do because a lot of that stuff with Tommy is like one of my favorite stuff about Seattle. It like makes you truly believe the demon that they were when they were younger. Like all we hear about is how crazy they were when they were in the apocalypse.
Crazy duo.
And we see Joel because we play as him.
They're like Superman and Batman.
Yeah, but we never see what Tommy does. It's all just hearsay, right? And then we finally get to see it in a game where he's genuinely a demon. Like, they're all scared of him. They're literally, like, on walking. Like, there's a sniper that's one dude that's taking everybody out.
He keeps moving.
Literally. And literally to the point that literally Ellie can't even catch up to him. She's, like, trying to, like, catch up and, like, help him. And she's like...
And he's already
just out here cleared the area. So every time she goes to go kill somebody, they're already dead because Tommy got to him, right? And so I like that there was more of them because then there's that. And I'm thinking they're not going to write that because they got rid of a lot of those people. There's also someone that she cuts in the face that wasn't the right person. Like, she cuts Manny in the face, and Manny gets his brains blown out. Spoilers in the game by Tommy. It was a different character that gets his face slashed, and his girlfriend, he had a nude of his girlfriend in his like pocket when you kill him, and that's how you track the rest of the group down. Is because you kill him, find like a nudie photo, like and flip it, and like find all the. So I don't know.
I do remember that scene.
Yeah.
Very
so
vividly.
I wish there was more people because, to me at least, it's because it makes sense.
You just want to see it. You just want to see the kills.
I want to see Tommy.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Tommy kill him, but I don't think they're gonna go that route now.
But the director did say, like at the end, I like watching the end bits when they talk about the episode that just passed.
Me too, because it puts me in their mind space of why they changed the things they changed and why they're doing that, and that's why I'm like whatever. Like I want to see how it happens, and like I don't like it, but I want to see where it goes before I judge it too harshly.
Like I still think Tommy has a chance to catch up.
Maybe.
I think
maybe next episode. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I really
also
do
don't
believe.
Like that, I don't like that they changed Tommy's like
motive.
Not motive, but his drive. Like that man in the game was angry that they took. Yeah, he was angry. Go. Yeah, he was angry that they took his brother.
There was no 3-month healing process.
There might have been a little bit of a time skip in the game, but it definitely wasn't like that. And especially not long enough for them to not be angry about the death anymore. Because in the game, Ellie was extremely angry still.
Forever.
Yeah.
For years later,
then,
too.
Tommy was still angry to the point that he left the town after his wife was like, no. Like, you... In the game, Ellie goes to him and he's like, no, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But deep down, he's angry and he goes for revenge. And that type of like drive, I wanted to see. And I guess they're not going that way.
Maybe it wasn't anger. Maybe it was just like...
Because Game Tommy, like that little console they had, Game Tommy wouldn't have sat there and been okay with everyone saying no to his brother.
I think he goes off in the game on his own because he probably is like, that's my brother, first of all. Got to get that back in blood. Second of all, my life is done. I'm at the end of it. I've been fortunate enough to survive this long. Yeah. I have to, if I die, it's going to be in this mission.
Maybe it's different because he has a kid. Maybe
it's different now, because he has the kid.
In the game, there was no kid, so there was no. Yeah,
I think
guess so.
in the game, he just didn't care if he died or not. You know,
maybe he
was like, I want to take out as many of these motherfuckers as I can.
Like that drive for revenge.
It's the kid.
It's what drives.
It's the kid.
It's probably because they give him
like that girl in Sinners who was just even though she heard the vampires knew everything that her husband knew, she still only focused on killing her husband and herself. She's like, nobody's gonna touch my kid. You're not gonna touch her. I'm super emotional about that. I'm gonna kill you.
And that's what I'm saying. I get those parts. I get the being super emotional. But why didn't they give it to him? Because of the kid?
I think it's the kid.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the kid's cute.
He is. He is a cute kid. He is a cute. We saw him playing baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
He is a cute kid.
He's out here locked in. I think now that
even at the end of the game,
He's still
that's
doing
what I'm
it.
saying, bro. Even at the end of the game, that drive for revenge, that's how much like he cares about his brother. That even after Ellie is like, dude, let it go. Tommy's like, no, you promised me that you'd get him.
Because Ellie's his kid.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do with Tommy.
Listen,
but that's the one character that I feel like, please don't change that.
Tommy and Ellie are, they end in the same place in the game, right?
Kind of.
They lose everything.
They
lose
both,
everything, right?
Yes. Yeah, Tommy loses his good eye, so he's a bad shot now. He's crippled with his leg, and he lost his wife. No kid in the game, but he did lose his wife. His wife loses him.
He could have had a kid. He doesn't know because she left.
That is true.
Right? He could.
That is true.
He could be out there, but she never took him back. She stood on business. She was like, "You're not gonna come back here."
She said, "If you leave, like looking for him, you're gone."
over.
And then Dina does the same thing, and she stands on business also.
And she leaves too. She's like, "The moment you walk out of this house,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
walking out
gone.
of that house behind you, and you're not gonna see me ever again."
And
So they're gonna
They
end in
both
the
sit
same place, right? In the game, they end up in the same
Yeah.
place, right? They're just two sides of the same coin.
Correct.
So I wonder where we're gonna go with the show because he has a whole kid now.
yeah,
So that's the problem. Not
Yeah.
the kid's not the problem, but it's the problem.
the motivation, right? Because then you're like, why would you do that if you're a dad? Like, why would you go out of your way to like be okay with dying?
Yeah.
If
When
you have somebody,
have
a
your
community
family
and a family, yeah.
and your community to come
Yeah.
back to. So that's the issue with Tommy. But I do believe that like in the background he's doing some work to like get the fuck out and like beat you. Because again, one person get there faster than two people.
Maybe.
Right? You gotta stop to pee.
But they did get a head start, unless they write back that like, nah, he left the night before and we just didn't know about it. Then I'll be like, all right, fair. Fair. That's what I'm saying.
Which
I don't
that
know.
could. We don't
I don't
know.
know. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I don't know yet. I don't want to judge it before I've seen the rest of the show. But currently, that's my opinion on it and my thoughts.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that though. They're gonna have Tommy come out. I think we're gonna be disappointed with Tommy a little bit for the next few episodes. I do know we're gonna get an Abby episode somewhat soon.
Yep, I did see I did see a lot of the Abby stuff coming up, and I was like, really, this soon?
I feel like it's just gonna be like the game where like you like that happens and then you're Abby all of a sudden. So now we're just gotta like
Follow her.
see what happens with Abby. I think they're gonna write the Abby episode pretty good because her backstory isn't bad, right?
They have
like
to, 'cause of
like
how much
we learn her
they got.
motivations.
Yeah.
I mean this criminal in our mind
I mean,
has family, friends. Like she has a community that she's in, and they support her mission.
Correct.
Which is different than the Jackson people.
Well,
where
her friends support her mission.
but like I don't think anybody's opposed in the game.
In the WLF?
Yeah. Because they're pretty violent too on their own.
They are, yeah, they are.
Right,
kinda
they're
violent.
vicious in the video game.
Yes, but that's because of their leader.
Like,
which
even-
we haven't seen, but which is what confused me. Because in the first or was the second episode, she monologues to Joel that the guy that she's been following for 5 years is very moral. He doesn't kill. Isaac in the game is not more. He's a horrible
He's
human
terrible,
being. Yeah,
terrible being. You see what he did to the
other Seraphites in in this episode. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why would she ever bring that up?
No,
if
but
he's
even in
never
the
been that
game,
way?
he violates.
But that's what I'm
them.
saying.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I ever seen that man in a good light in the game or in the show for her to monologue about him like that.
I think
don't
she's just
know.
talking to her ass. She
Maybe
just,
maybe
just
she's
wants
like
Joel
bro
to
scented
feel
glasses
bad. Yeah.
because he trained her. Maybe
I think she just. I'm
Because
not saying she's wrong for her
spoilers again to the
motivations.
game. Even she betrays the wolves after she realizes how fucking evil Isaac is. She's like, "All right, dog, you're doing too
Come
much."
on,
And
you're
she
about to
leaves him.
kill this person?
Yeah,
Like, what are
yeah.
you
So
doing?
we'll see.
No, I think that she's just trying to justify.
What she's doing.
Yeah. I mean, which is a reasonable crash out, I would
Correct.
say. Anybody would do that probably.
Some people disagree with you that it's not.
It's not a
Which, by the
reasonable
way,
crash out?
I
I mean,
I think it is.
That Asian guy in the community said, hey,
We
you know, we forgive.
Which, by the way, that Seth scene, I want to talk about that. I love his character now. I don't know why, but damn,
And
they
then
wrote him crazy.
So
good.
he's like, you got to forgive, da-da-da, right? He
Yeah.
makes a speech about it. And then Seth goes, I don't want to cut into the Seth thing too much, but he's like, they don't deserve it. And the guy responds back, that's why it's called mercy.
Yeah.
So I think, you know what I'm saying?
playing on that, like,
yeah.
which side will finally give mercy first?
I don't think no sides will.
Eventually,
mean-
one side does.
I mean, yeah, true. But I think.
I don't want to spoil it to the people. Eventually, who eventually stops the revenge circle?
Uh-huh.
'Cause it goes for a while, dog. It goes. I'm
Like a-
telling you, each person keeps killing each person, and it goes for a long time until one of them eventually is
a
like,
15
yeah,
year cycle or
until
something
eventually
like that.
someone's like, "What are we doing, dog?"
It's
They
like-
look at each other, sitting there beating up.
Yeah.
What the fuck is we doing? Bro?
What was he mad about? Oh, my dad killed your dad. I remember. But they've been dead for like 20 years,
yeah,
right?
at this point, yeah.
Oh, you want to stop?
Pretty much.
Like
kinda
someone's got
crazy.
like a bullet in their face, or like somebody's missing an arm, and
They're
it's
like, damn, dog. I feel like we took it too far.
they're like, yo, dab me up, dab me up.
I think we took it too far. We're done. But
Oh man, I'm excited though.
I am.
I'm
I am excited to see where it goes. Dude, I love when they do the stuff that's in the games, like so, like like good, like the scene of her walking around the house. You do that in the game. Like you go back to home and you as the character walk around the house and pick things up.
Yeah, it's not a cutscene.
Yeah, and reminisce things. So like you pick up the gun, you pick up the watch, you put on the jacket before you leave.
Yeah.
So I love to see that but she doesn't cry. At least Ellie doesn't cry there
In the game, right?
No.
Yeah.
Which is I love that scene
That
with
scene.
Bella.
I think that might not have been in the script.
You
I
she
think
just let it out.
I
right
think
there?
that just happened, you know, because it was a little bit too good.
It was good,
Like,
dude. It was good as hell.
I don't want to
Had me almost cry.
I don't think they thought of making her cry there. I just think she just is such a good actress where she just like, you know,
She is good,
She's like,
bro.
you know what, I'm gonna fucking cry.
She been. I thought for sure like.
Because her and
she's
Pedro are good
that's
friends.
what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if she can carry it by herself. Like, Joel does a lot, but also she's a fantastic. But I don't know. I got it. She got it. After the crying scene at home, the scene at the council, the scene with her and Dina, she got it, bro. At least for me.
For right now,
Yeah, I think she's selling it. She's selling it.
she's doing good. I think she's doing good. I'm
also-
excited to see Pedro hopefully again as a ghost.
Yeah, they're gonna do flashbacks for sure. They didn't pay him that much.
Because
to
in the
do two
game,
episodes.
they did.
They show you a flashback with Ellie for her birthday, and then the flashback at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But that's it. You don't get much with Joel. And there's also
Pedro Pascal, you're killing me, man.
There's a scene in one of the trailers, one of the first trailers of the game that I wish they put in the game, but they didn't. It's her on a guitar, like singing, and it's a song that played in the last episode. That's the voice actress Ellie singing it in the trailer. And then it's a ghost of Joel that like walks in and he's like, "You're really gonna do it, kid?" And she's like, "I'm gonna kill every single last one of them." And it's one of the coolest fucking scenes. They didn't put it in the game, but it was such a cool trailer.
Yeah, I remember that trailer.
Yeah, and they didn't put it in the game
because it led you to believe that
Joel
was
was still alive. Yes, and that's what everyone was still so upset about. But it was, but then the director came out. He's like, it was supposed to be a ghost, and it was gonna be in the game, but it didn't.
We didn't
want to keep bringing up the character.
But they might bring it in the show.
They might.
Because again,
cool.
The guy said that he wanted to spend some time on the grieving process.
Yeah.
But in the game, you couldn't because the
can't,
game's a
'cause
game.
yeah.
It's a video game.
You
You want
can't.
to
No one
get
wants
into
to
the
sit
action.
at a video. Yeah, no one wants to sit with a controller. talking to people
For 30 minutes,
Yeah,
40 minutes.
People would get so
Imagine
mad.
doing the council scene and you're like,
Just sit there. Press X when you want to stand up.
interrupt. Are you ready to interrupt?
So I get it, but yeah. Let's talk about the things they did add. So they added a lady named Gail. There was no therapist in the. I mean, there were therapists in Jackson in the game.
But it wasn't.
We never spent time.
Because
with
it's a
them.
video game.
Yeah, we never spent time with
never
them.
want
We
to spend
never.
time
Yeah, we
with
don't give a shit. Also, she isn't married to Eugene in the game. In the game, Eugene is married to some random lady and he has a kid. And Eugene died from natural causes, heart attack. He was the weed grower in the community, though.
The pothead.
And he was a firefly. So those things were in the game.
It's crazy that they had
the
ex-fireflies in Jackson.
Yeah, because a lot of them left once they got very tyrannical, like very us or Fedra type shit. Like either you join us or you're with Fedra, and that's so. Once they started getting like that, Tommy, Joel, and Eugene left, but you know, some stayed, like Marlene. That's why Marlene knows him in the first season, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, Eugene was in the first season?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
But he was in the Firefly, so I'm guessing.
They
he
must
knew of
know.
Marlene. Yeah, he must have known who Marlene was.
Every time they mention the Fireflies, I'd be like side-eyeing. Like, what you know about the Fireflies?
So I like the therapist. I think I know you don't.
Nah, she's an op, bro.
You
I
think-
don't,
yeah, you
I don't
think she's
trust
an op?
her.
I
I don't
like
trust
her.
her. I don't trust Cherry from Daredevil. This just I don't know.
I loved her scene with Joe in episode, was it 2 or 1?
I think it was in episode 1 where he's talking to her.
Yeah. I love that.
That
scene.
was a good addition.
Dude, that scene was like that's what I'm
And
saying.
that
Like,
promotes
Joel
men's
chews
mental
up, like,
health.
dude, Pedro Pascal can act. Cause damn, that scene was good.
Yo, he made me think that he's actually Joel.
That's
Like,
what I'm
like,
saying,
yo,
bro.
actually went
He's
through all
so
that shit.
good. I do like the character. I don't know what they're gonna do with her now. Like it seems like she's just there to be there.
True, but I just feel like that the way she be asking questions, I'd be like, "What are you trying to do?"
Have you never been to therapy?
No, I know, but like,
That's how
But I'm like,
therapists ask you a question.
you're trying to get more.
That's how they are.
You're like, what did Jill do to you?
That's because they want you to go. They want you to put out all your problems and walk.
No,
work
she
through
wants
them.
to. She wants Ellie to say Joel killed these doctors for me because I'm immune, and then she's gonna be like, get her. She's gonna call Fireflies first. Get her. And there's gonna be like a fucking sleeper cell of people in Jackson. That
I hope not. I hope that's not where they're going with her.
I hope not too.
And
but I
genuinely,
can't
it's
trust
just
her.
like she's a
I
therapist who
can't
likes.
trust
I like her
her.
because she's a therapist. One,
She's an alcoholic first and foremost. That's
she's also
one.
a pothead.
No, first and foremost, she's an alcoholic.
She does
then
say
she's a
it.
therapist.
She does say it in this episode. She's like, listen, as much as you guys come to me for therapy, understand that therapists also need therapists, and there is no other therapist in this town. When she's talking to Tommy at the baseball field, and she's like, so I've resorted to the only problems that I know, alcohol and weed. And she's like, and it's not a good coping mechanism.
She need to get fired.
And she's the only therapist,
But
bro.
no, that's no excuse because you said you had 40 years of psychotherapy. Bitch, train somebody.
That is true. She's probably got books and shit to train
I'm like,
someone.
First
But
of
who
all,
the fuck want to be the therapist?
you're gonna
of
make
the
them go to
town?
college?
You want
There's no college.
Who do you think want to be the therapist of that town, bro? Nobody
Honestly,
else would want to do that.
honestly,
job.
those people are soft. Get
I
anybody.
think-
anybody would. Yeah, I'll do the cushy job. I'll be the therapist. I don't have to shoot a gun or cook or clean shit. I'll be a therapist. Yo, bunch of fucking pussies at Jackson, bro. I don't remember Jackson being that soft in the game.
It is and it isn't. Jackson is soft when it comes to familial. Like they are very fat. Like you, like when you play the second game, you're like, oh shit! Like this community is like whole. It became like a town basically. There are mothers, there are kids playing around. They play snowball fights at sometimes. They have parties. Like they are trying to make as normal life back to, you know what I mean? They're trying to bring it back. But then there are soldiers, there are patrols, there are people that are trained, there are guns everywhere. So they're just not showing that part as much, I guess. In this version.
They say but don't show. So they tell but don't show. But it's at a point where like they're playing baseball
That's why I was sitting there standing ovation for Seth during that council meeting because he seems like the only one with his head on straight.
He doesn't. He's there like.
Like what the fuck are we doing?
Did we just forget that we got stormed by
Yep.
these fucking monsters that
Yep.
you never would have thought ever existed? That's still reality outside of those walls. Not even outside of those walls, like wherever we all came from, we probably suffered in so many ways through that. And and I think people after in that scene probably like as a civilian in Jackson. Get over it. Like it's like, look, we're here, we're safe. Like,
to them, that's what it is.
It's like we're good, but then
because
no,
that's why
you're
they said
not
that's
good.
why they said no, right? They were like, why are you sending 16?
Of our best guys, what happens if Raiders come?
Like, dog, are you for real?
What do you mean if Raiders come? Kill them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
They're too reliant on people like Tommy and Joel.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
To do the
because
bad, the
Joel,
ugly shit. Yeah.
Exactly,
the ugly stuff.
ugly shit.
Yeah.
Joel's not scared to kill somebody and get some information.
That's probably why that therapist. He probably had to kill Eugene because he got bit because nobody else wanted to be the ugly person, and Joel's always okay with being
and
the ugly person.
Tommy again, we called him the general of the defense that day. He do this, do that, get ready on my mark, throw that down,
and then they ran
let that shit on fire. And
well,
like,
only three of
them.
them.
What
Only
happens if we
three
lose
of them.
Tommy? What happens if we lose Tommy? Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Maria, they still got Maria. Maria's pretty G.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's like you shouldn't.
You should step up. I
shouldn't-
agree. That's why Jesse stepped up. He's on the council. Hey, shout out Jesse. He's on the
to
council
Jesse.
now.
But we all know what happens to him
If you play the game,
if you play the game.
shout out.
Shout out to my boy Jesse.
Yeah, they did you dirty in the game. I'm so sorry. It was so like. Do you know?
I do know. I remember
Dude,
playing the game.
it's bad. Like his death is so bad, it makes me feel bad. They kill him so like he
doesn't matter. Like he doesn't
literally,
matter.
The way that
like
the way that
NPC.
Joel kills Abby's dad in the show is the way that Jesse goes. Like he runs out to help and gone immediately, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, that was crazy. But even when Tommy kills some of the side characters in the game, Abby's group, I'm not like. I didn't get that reaction from them because again, we're on the team. We're on Team
the other
Ellie.
team. Yeah.
Team Ellie,
we
right?
Because by this time we haven't played as Abby.
Because even like you would think when Tommy takes out when he blows that guy's head off.
Yeah, Manny.
That Abby would be like, "What the fuck?" Like that. Like, that's, you know. But like that's the reaction we're getting because we're Team Ellie for Jesse. But it's because we experienced the time with them.
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know how many more episodes we have. What is it, like 8 or
I don't
10?
know. I have no idea. I stopped reading episode things because then I always know what's gonna happen.
But before they even release, like even this one, it just said episode 3. It didn't give you the title yet. So tomorrow the title will reveal or whatever.
Okay.
Whenever it's done premiering.
So yeah,
because even there wasn't even a description.
Like the thing that we just watched, I usually don't even watch them because I like to just fresh.
I like to watch,
everything.
but it is
insightful to see how
they don't even tell you things
they,
for the next episode. They just show you a few clips, but it doesn't even make any sense half the time.
Yeah, but it makes sense to me.
That's true.
I played the game. I saw like 4 scenes, and I was like, "Oh, that's what's happening."
Yeah.
Next episode, like I knew immediately.
But I like when they talk about the previous episode.
But I like when they talk about the episode that we watched. Like, this is what we did. This is why we changed things. That I love the insight of the director.
And he says it verbatim.
Yeah,
he doesn't say like, he doesn't like beat around the bush. He's like, we changed that because in the game you would have hated that in the game, but in the show you're sitting here, you're not playing anything, so you gotta just do what we.
And I like that. I like being in the director's mind and being like, okay, why is he changing this of his own? It's his story. He wrote it, right? Why is he changing it? Why does he feel like this is a more appropriate way to say this story, or vice versa? So,
do you listen to the podcast?
No, I did
the first
season 1. I did. I watched. I listened to. Every
I haven't
episode,
listened to
but
podcast yet.
I haven't listened to any of the episodes this season.
Is
I
it
might
still Troy Baker?
after I finished. I love, by the way, that's Joel in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's the reason I listened to it originally because I wanted to see what the thoughts of the original actors were on the show. Like, so it was the director for the TV show, Craig Mazin, the guy who made Last of Us, whatever it was his name, Neil Druckmann, Troy Baker, which is the voice of Joel, and then what's her name?
Ashley Johnson.
Ashley Johnson
Plays Ellie.
Yeah, and they were all on the podcast, and I wanted to see all of their opinions. Who not only experienced the game firsthand, like they were all in it, but they all played it and enjoyed it, like and have their own opinions on it. So I wanted to see what they each had to say about.
Bella hasn't played the game. She says
that's kind of sucky, but hey, that sucks that she hasn't. But the fact that she hasn't, and the directors can do such a good job of being like, this is how Ellie would act, and she just embodies that role so well.
I mean, I understand why, right? You want to put your own twist, like you want to like go in fresh, you want to learn things. You don't want to be, you don't want to know what's ahead, right?
Everything, yeah. That's why I'm like, I watch things and I'm like, okay, I like this change. I don't know why, but I'm gonna stick through it. I'm not those type of people who are like immediately like, oh, you changed this, dog shit. I'm not those people.
No, I'm not like that either. But I just can't get over the fact that bitch did not do like some curls. Just fucking. Yeah. You're not a bitch, whatever your name is. Yeah. But I just can't get like you could have just YouTubed what the game was like.
I agree,
and you could have been like, oh damn,
I can't even like disagree with your point.
She's kind of like muscular. You couldn't be some of these a couple times.
Like the few excuses that she could have used, right? It was they didn't tell me to train, which is again that's on casting.
That's on them, yeah.
2, she couldn't get too big because maybe she had another role. After.
But even then, you don't even film the same. You don't. If you're in a show, you don't even film until you're done.
No, there are sometimes where you film in between.
Yeah, but that's
like if you have to
this person is not A-list.
She's getting up there.
I know, but I'm saying, but like if it's an A-lister, then you know you're going from one set to another to another
like
to another.
Like Pedro was filming this and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, exactly. And even when he was on the last season of Mandalorian, like we barely saw him without the helmet because he was doing this.
Yeah, he was doing Last of Us season 1. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, Pedro, it's all right, right? He's up there. He's got to work.
Yeah.
But this girl, I'm like, girl, this shit. Your scenes probably took you like 6-7 months to do. Just fucking bulk up a little bit for your prime, your money shots.
I think she's. If we
the
see
way
her,
the way they shoot episodes
if we see her at the
they
WLF,
don't do it. Be like, all right, guys, episode 1 is right now. They're like, no. Sometimes they shoot shit out of order, based off the weather, based off this. I'm 100%. Like, if you just shot all her money shots first, like where she's beating the fuck out of Joel, like,
beefed up,
and then just regular smaller size.
Let her slim down like months later, and then refilm all the other stuff. Maybe if they show her later in the like in Seattle, and she's a little bit stronger, I'll shut up. I'll shut up about it.
If she just hit some of these.
Yeah, just a little, like, just give her, even if it's a muscle padded suit, something, bro. Give me something, bro. Yo. Even if it's like,
just give her some shoulders or something.
Yeah, like where she's wearing like a long sleeve, because she wears long sleeves in the game a lot, and they give her like a muscle padded long sleeve. Give me that at least. Give me something. So it's believable, bro, because I don't know.
How Andrew Garfield has a butt pad on his Spidey suit.
Because of how no ass he got? Yeah, I know.
I mean, so just she got no arms, give her some arms.
Give her a little bit. Like, don't OD it. Don't superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do those.
When SpongeBob gets muscles?
Yeah, like, don't do that.
Even though
like
Abby
a little
fake
bit
looks like that.
Not in the game, she do, but it won't look right with that actress. So give her just a little bit of padding, you know.
When she had the winter coat on, I was like, all right.
I see it, right? I kind of see her as Abby.
If I just look at your face, you Abby, and you talk like Abby, and your motives are like Abby.
Yeah.
But then when she was without the coat,
that's what I'm saying.
Come on, that's somebody.
She lost all her aura, right? She stopped being imposing. Yeah. Like I was scared of her, then I wasn't. Immediately,
bro, my sister was like,
nah.
I could fight her.
That's what I'm saying. You can't feel like that with Abby, bro. No. When the moment she got on my screen, I was like, she would beat my ass, bro. It makes sense,
bro. There was times where we were Abby and we're fighting Ellie, and I'm like,
I don't feel right.
Ellie would come on me, and then I would press square to hit
her. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, Ellie. I know that must have hurt,
dude. And she's like, when you swing with her, it's like, ah,
yeah, like and the camera shakes, like
it's insane. I don't know, man.
I'm like. I told you, I'm like, yo, Abby used to beat the shit out of Ellie.
She did.
I would not believe that this girl would beat the shit out of Ellie the same way Abby did.
Well, I do now because they're both pretty similar in height and builds.
True, but
if it was...
That's why there's weight classes, right?
Yeah, there is.
It was an unfair weight class with those two.
In the game,
and that's why she was doing mad damage to her.
That's why Ellie, every time they fought, had to pull out a weapon. Mm-hmm. Whenever they would fight fisticuffs in the game, Ellie would immediately pull out a knife because Abby, she was getting her ass kicked.
Abby would toss her, and then whatever she would land on she would break, she'll grab glass, whether it be...
Because that's how Ellie fights. That's how she was taught to fight, right? But it makes sense.
Because Ellie was always going to be smaller.
Ass kicked in by somebody who's twice my size, and my only shot of surviving is stabbing, I'm going to do it.
You have to. You can't do nothing more.
But now
you like your life, right?
Yeah, but I feel like now that they're setting Ellie up to be more of a fighter, like they're showing her boxing and learning how to like throw punches and stuff. I feel like they're just gonna throw hands. Yeah, I think they're just gonna throw hands for real, and like it'll be more of a fair fight. Because Abby's supposed to be already a really good fighter, and she's trained for 5 years, just learning how to fight.
Nah, the shit that got me so not mad. I wasn't mad at all. I was just overreacting for most of it. But when there's an Abby scene and it's like 5 years later and it's Abby the same person again,
just a little bit longer.
Like, girl, you could have done some sit-ups or something. Like, even if she was just like lean, like had like even give her
like
fake
a runner's
ab
build
suit.
or something, like a runner's build,
like give her a little bit of shoulders or something. I'm like, that's all it took.
Or just like highlight definition on her, like give her some makeup, define her muscles that she does have. They didn't.
Come on, Abby. I'm not disappointed in you.
No, her acting is fantastic.
Yeah, you're doing good so far. You killed Joel. I just couldn't. When you were punching him, I was just like,
yeah, I couldn't.
Girl, your wrist should be broken.
Yeah,
right now. This
for the amount of damage she did to his face, 1,000,000%.
I'm like,
1,000,000%. There's no way she should have had broken.
Walked out of there with your hands,
like this. Yeah, like or at least her hand like bloodied and red, or like what is it? Like when your head like puffs up, what is it called? Swells.
Yeah.
Like she should have a swollen hand. Something.
Yeah.
No, she walked out
because
she chilling.
It's not like when she was doing it. It's like her club broke pretty.
Pretty
second hit.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
And then she started like punching him for like a few minutes
to the point that her friends were like, "Abby, stop,
chill. Like you're embarrassing yourself. He's been dead.
Yeah, not dead, but he's been his ass beat because he wasn't dead. He was just on the floor.
And then she had to do the killing blow.
Yeah.
Which, how do you feel about that? She stabbed him in the neck or something.
Like I said earlier, I think it was just to solidify it. Like, no, he's not coming back. Shut up about it. There is no, he might have survived. There is no, oh, man. No, he's dead.
Reddit was like, Pedro Pascal had to break the fourth wall and tell her, shut the fuck up.
No, he does that in the game.
I know.
And then she hits the iconic ass line, you don't get to rush this one, man. I love that. I love that line.
That was
when she said it. I fucking jumped out of my chair.
Like, yo, what? What are you about to do to me?
I love that line. What else? What else did they change and I didn't like or liked? And because I feel like we're just going on tangents now. We're not even talking about certain episodes.
No, I mean we're just trying to recap everything. What happened in episode 1?
Episode 1 was us like learning about.
Oh no, you know what they did change that I did like though. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. But there was a lot more scenes with Dina and Joel.
Yeah,
and there was that one moment where
he was
like
teaching her how to like do something.
Yeah, he's teaching her how to do like electronic stuff.
Yeah.
But that's like literally because
she wanted to figure out what was going on between her.
Yes, because Ellie and Joel were beefing. But I also think
I just remember something.
Okay, go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
There is a scene in the game where it's so pivotal. Like it is the most pivotal thing that they have, and I'm hoping and praying that Ellie is just lying to the therapist, because even the therapist like she's lying to me. She's a liar.
Well,
So-
Tommy says she could be lying, and then she's like, no, she's a liar.
Yeah,
There's a difference of someone who
Correct.
lies or someone who
because
just
every
consistently.
time she spoke to her, she was lying.
But so did Joel. Every time.
No, he was honest about everything but what he did. But she was lying about everything. She was lying about how she felt, even the way she was talking. She was lying. So yeah.
Talk about that one scene you talked to me about earlier.
Yeah, it's so in the game right after the New Year's Eve like ball type thing, she does go home and she sees him playing on the porch. In the game, it cuts to black just like the show does, and in the show, it is referenced that they did have a conversation the episode prior when she's going on patrol with Jesse. She says she wants to go on patrol with Joel, and he's like, "I thought you guys were like beefing." And she's like, "No." We hashed it out, and even if we were beefing, that's my dad. And no matter what, like we will always. Where I'm still Ellie, he's still Joel. We will always love each other. And to me, that signaled this scene did happen. We're just not showing you yet.
Yeah.
It was like they did in the game.
We told you about. We told you about.
And I was
scene,
like,
though.
okay, valid. If we want to save it till at the end, like you did in the game, beautiful. Because at least in the game, you believe that the last time you see Joel or speak to Joel is you guys are angry at each other, and then he passes away, and the last thing she got to talk to him was, Joel, get up, please get up.
Yeah.
Right, and it's emotional not only for Ellie,
For us.
but for you as the player. You believe that, oh, I didn't even get to tell him I was like how much I loved him. I'm sorry for what I did, and he died. I needed to get it back in blood. It makes you want that revenge so much more, right? And that's why at the end, once you already get the revenge and you've done everything, it's like you didn't even need it. You had the closure. You had the forgiveness all along.
It was with you the entire step of the way.
Yep. So and then in this episode, she then lies to
The therapist.
fingers crossed it's a lie. She tells the therapist she did not speak to him. That the last time they spoke was at the New Year's Eve. Was at New Year's Eve. So I hope, please God, don't take that away from me. Keep that scene in.
Don't know what you're missing.
And yeah.
What'd you rate the season so far? 3 episodes
So far, 3 episodes in, I'm gonna give it a 9.
9.
Yeah. I won't give it the 0.5 or the 10 because of the things that I don't like. I'm gonna wait till the season is completely done, whether I want to give it the 0.5 or the 10, or if I want to drop it. If I think things were way off and I think the game did better at telling the story, then I probably will drop it to like an 8, because I don't think anyone is doing bad per se. Like I don't think anyone's doing bad with the job that they're given. I think every actor is doing good. I think all the stuff that they're writing is good. I just don't know if they're gonna land all the stuff that I know comes in the game and all the details and stuff that are supposed to be. Because if they're in Seattle by this, I'm sorry, spoiler. By the end of episode 3, they're already in Seattle, which is fast.
That's pretty fast.
By the way, in the game there is kind of a little track before you get there, and there are stuff that you find and you have conversations, and there's a scene that that's supposed to come during like the first day in Seattle. Right, like where they're like,
don't talk about that.
I'm not gonna. But
we're just getting to Seattle, so
Yeah.
we'll keep the Seattle spoilers. So far,
we'll see. And in the episode preview, they showed like that one train scene. I don't know if it's next episode, they shouldn't do it. It's too soon. But if they are, it's supposed to be
everything that's shown in the
train
trailer.
scene is right before the transition between Abby and Ellie. So that train scene happens. They get a safe house. They tell each other something that they've been lying to each other about, and then we switch perspectives.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna go there immediately to episode 4, I feel like we're going to way too fast, way too fast. But I don't know. I don't want to
see.
I don't want to give my opinion before I've seen it.
I'll give it like an 8.
Okay.
So far, 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
You know, I had to chill from the Abby drama. Apparently, Bella Ramsey deleted all her socials for this.
Really? They were being that mean to her?
No, she like before the season started, she just like, boop, 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 I'm not gonna
just in
hear
case?
this. I don't want to be a part of this.
Smart. She was getting ragged on. She was getting ragged on.
She was.
Episode 1, I saw a lot of people ragging on.
But
I don't know if
it's out of shit she can't control, right? She doesn't look like an adult still.
And it's stuff like that like it's like that's not her fault, bro.
I told you, I was like, just put on a box like they do Tom Cruise. Just make it look a little bit
Just
taller.
give her maybe that's why they switched her shoes.
That's a perfect in-universe thing to make.
That's
it look
probably
tall.
why. Because, by the way, Chucks are flat shoes.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
make
yeah.
you short.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
as short as you are. You wear
They
them.
make
You're,
your natural height.
Yeah. And in the games,
but
that is
Dina's
her.
been
That,
fiending for boots for
Yeah.
like 3 episodes.
she's
already.
like, you need to get rid of them fucking Converse.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in the game, she never does. She wears them in the snow, in the rain, in the sleet. In the first game, she always wears Chucks.
in the pit of fire.
Yeah,
everything.
she always wears Chucks. So it was funny that they referenced this. Like, you need to get rid of the old ass
yeah.
Chucks and switch your boots.
So maybe
it's to make her look a little bit taller.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
What else?
We saw the scars. They
Pretty
showed the
fucking
scars.
early, right?
Really early,
That
yeah.
was super duper early because we don't even
don't-
see them in Seattle.
No, we do see them
until
in Seattle,
like
yeah.
like a few days in though.
Yeah. It's like
It's not like off the first day, yeah.
Third day of Ellie's Seattle trip, and then I think the first day of Abby's. But by the time you play as Abby, you've already been through all of Abby's days. So yeah, you don't see him for a bit, but hey, cool. We've seen him. It's a little
It's strange the way we see them because we see them and then they get taken away from us.
But we see them. Were they running away from Seattle or
They
towards
were.
Seattle?
They were running away from Seattle.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I was like, scars are usually
Because-
they're fighting a war in Seattle.
Exactly, right? So if they're running away from a war, they're running from Seattle and the scars are chasing them. I mean, the wolves are chasing
The wolves were chasing them towards
them. No, away from Seattle. I think just because they're bloodlusted enough to
chase them?
chase after them.
Or do you honestly think it was Abby and her group going towards Seattle and they caught them while they were trying to run away from Seattle?
They could be either or. I mean, we've seen how massive that group is.
Yeah.
Right? Towards the end of this episode.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
That's why when they said 16, game lore, I was like, makes sense. There is a lot.
But they did. I'm assuming the scar scene is happening concurrently as the present day, like 3 months later scenes.
Yeah. I
Right.
believe.
So Abby
believe
would have
so.
Abby would have been made it back by then.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because again, like Dina said, if you know where they're going, let them get there.
Give them time to get. You're right. But how long does it take to get to Seattle?
I mean, it took
A few
them
days.
Yeah.
It took them a few days.
Maybe like 5 days.
Yeah.
at max.
We didn't see the day. We saw a night, a day, and then they were there. So we don't know how long it took.
But then again, remember I was like, thank God they didn't show us walking that much longer. I couldn't handle it.
True. It is kind of a trek from the forest to the first day of
Because
Seattle.
like, what more are you gonna do?
You also you run into a gate before you run into Seattle, and you learn codes about you learn more about the WLF while you're playing the game because you don't really know about them.
Yeah.
But they gave us a lot of that.
But maybe
stuff.
that level is
They
just
gave us
there
a lot
to
of
give.
that.
Yeah.
They gave us a lot of that stuff during the Dina scene. So I guess
Because
we
she's
didn't
like,
need it.
Eugene said.
Yeah. We don't really
fucking
need a lot
Eugene,
of the stuff.
always talking when you shouldn't, Eugene. All right, let's wrap this up, Fabian.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else before we wrap up, but I think that's it.
That's it, man.
That's
It's
it,
not,
yeah.
There hasn't been much. To be honest, there hasn't been much.
I like it. I'm liking it so far.
I think it is weirdly paced. It is,
Yeah. It is really placed.
Like
I think
by the time where we get here in the game, we've done so much.
yeah, we've done a lot.
Like
Yeah.
I remember like
There's a lot of stuff in between.
doing a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
there is.
But now
That's why I was so. That's why if the next episode has a train scene, bro, I'm gonna be like, "There's no how. How did we get through
maybe
all of that
it-
so quick?"
It may be the ending of that episode if we get that scene.
Maybe.
It might be the end, and we
And then
leave
we
on a
switch to the next
cliffhanger. We
one.
switch perspectives,
And then they won't let us see what happens in that. Maybe,
until
till the next season.
Next
Maybe,
episode.
maybe. If that's the case, then okay, I'll drop it. I'll
Right,
shut
because
up
this
about
story has to end in this season,
Somewhere.
right?
No, they
You
said
think
they're.
it's gonna
They
s-
said season 3.
I'm done with the show.
Yeah, I think
This is
they-
gonna have a third season.
I think they want one more season and then they're done. 3 seasons. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna leave off right after the scene that Abby gets at the movie theater and does what she does, and then cut, and then season 3 will be
immediately
after
picked
that.
up.
Yeah,
That's so annoying.
that's what I think. it's
Just
gonna be.
finish the story.
Because
Fucking Cody Rhodes.
that scene is beat per beat like an ending, right?
Yeah,
a
yeah,
very
yeah.
wrapped ending. She makes it to the theater. They have their fight. She threatens Dina. She says, "I'll stop looking for you." They both walk away, right? That is an ending.
That is an ending.
I think that's where they drop it. And then season 3, they'll show you the farm. The Tommy coming back. Like, you promised me, bitch. Go get her. I found her.
What do you mean? You
And
promised me, Tommy? We have yet to see you
And
ball
then I
out and
think
show
we'll
them.
see the epilogue where, like, it's just Ellie.
Uh-huh.
And then she goes for her. And then she finds Abby trapped by some other
Yeah.
group of people.
Yeah. There's never ending violence in that world.
It really is.
It just doesn't
never
stop
ending.
from either revenge or just other groups
But
forming.
technically, they both looked for it.
That's true.
They both went looking for it.
They love the love of the game.
They do.
They do that shit because they're passionate about killing each other.
Hey, but FYI, if it was me, stop hating on Abby. If they killed you, I'm going. I'm coming for your ass, and I won't stop till I die, bro. I'm straight up.
That's what Tommy was
That's
on
what I'm saying, bro.
in the game.
That's why I get it. I get it. I
He
get
ain't
the
have
Abby thing.
He ain't have a kid.
Listen,
He was like, I'm out
if
here.
you pulled up to a safe house and you kill my boy, and you think you're gonna walk out, I'm coming for you. I'll find your ass, bro.
Bro, what if
and
they
I'm gonna
made you
beat your ass
watch,
with
like
a fucking
Ellie?
cow. I'm gonna get you with a golf club.
They definitely would have killed you. They definitely didn't kill Ellie because she's a girl.
What
They
you
definitely would have killed you.
What?
If that was you, if you was
If
there,
I was Abby?
if you was Ellie.
No. I'm saying I'm
and
Abby.
Oh, so
Like
yeah,
if I was one of the Fireflies, right?
Uh-huh.
And they came in, they shot you up because you was the doctor. I'm coming for your ass, and I'm beating your ass with a golf
Okay,
club.
but what if you were Ellie?
What do you mean?
What if you were Ellie? What if I was Joel and you were Ellie?
I'm coming for you too.
Yeah, see, but they would kill you because they're like, yo, this guy's crazy. Bow.
No,
They're like, that's a little ass girl. She's not gonna do that.
true. I guess no.
Because,
I don't
because
think
she
it was
was like,
no.
"You're gonna die."
Even in the game, they know how dangerous Ellie is.
But I feel like these people didn't know that
they didn't,
for some
but,
reason.
But even then, game and people, I think it's more told in the TV show. But in the game, they're like, we don't want to kill any. We just want Joel.
Yeah.
And it's the same for this. They're more explicit about it here. Because in the game, they're really mean. Like, they killed Joel, and then the Manny spits on him and goes, fucking pendejo.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't spit. They took out the spit for a
Did
reason.
they?
Yeah. He just says fucking pendejo.
Why?
Because people are very, like,
I feel like he did
about their
spit on
No, he
him.
didn't. I watched it a lot
Damn.
to make sure that they changed it. Or to see that they changed it. But yeah. They're way more brutal in the game.
So it's a game.
Yeah.
Your parents aren't watching.
So I don't think it's because they didn't believe her. I think it's just because they were going for one thing, and which is, listen, honorable on her part. I would not listen. If I was Abby, I would have killed everyone in that room. Why the fuck would I give you the chance to come back for me? No! I'm killing Joel for killing my mans, and then I'm killing Ellie, and whoever the fuck was there. I don't care.
You're killing Ellie first. Bow, you watch your daughter die. Oh, this is your bro? Bow, he's dead too.
You gotta think about it. They're the villains on their side.
In their
bruh.
story, they're the villains. But even though they're villains in somebody else's story too.
Yeah. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was this episode of The Last of Us recap ramble session.
Episode 1, 2, 3, not actually a episode preview or review.
No,
It's
we're
rambling.
just capping up this is basically an episode 3 recap, and then
and a little bit of 1
just
and 2.
1 and 2 just
Yeah.
happens to be there.
A little.
But episode 4, we should be back.
Luna, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Luna's going brazy
That's
right
why
now.
we gotta end.
But episode 4, we should probably have more to talk about because it'll just be episode 4 by itself. But peace, love, joy. We will see you for episode 4 eventually.
Boys and girls.
Peace.